I was always very inclined toward like program building, for lack of a better word, toward creating something with the institution. So in this case, it would be FIU. And my first impulse was to build a Russian studies program. And there was frankly not that much interest in it. I tried and I tried and I tried. You can call it Miami politics, but there was not, we don't even teach, we barely teach Russian at FIU. So it was clear to me pretty early on that this job was not going to be the job I'd hoped I would have, which was like a Michigan type job where you have a, Center for Russian East European Studies or whatever it's called now, where you have a real kind of collection of interdisciplinary students and faculty looking at the region from all these different perspectives. That's how I was educated from in a very kind of interdisciplinary way. The 90s were all about area studies. The 80s and 90s were all like before global studies was a big thing. So I was like deep in Russia and East Europe, right? I studied Polish. I spent time in Poland, the whole thing. But it was obvious to me over time that that was never going to be FIU, that that was kind of a losing battle. So I ended up directing the EU Center, the European Union Center, Jean Monnet European Union Center, and also started Polish studies and European Eurasian studies I directed for a while. That ended when I was tapped to become the faculty fellow for the then provost Ken Furton. And my job when I worked for Provost Furton was to do a lot of things. I sat on a million university committees, so I learned really how the university works in many ways. And I was also like allowed or tasked with having one project. So my project was became over time to really fight for the humanities at the university. Okay, because it was clear that most of the people in charge, the Office of Research, understood sciences, understood medicine, engineering, but really did not see humanities as research. Like it was just not on their radar, pretty, right? So I did a lot of work around that, and then in a variety of ways. And so to get to the Public Humanities Lab, Provost Furton, just to quickly fast forward, Provost Furton put out a call to the university for preeminent research areas. And I was like in his ear, like one must be humanities, one must be humanities. So I was on the committee to create these areas of expertise across the university. And the Wolfsonian Museum and the Department of History had each put in a proposal for a preeminent program. And the committee, which I recused myself from, obviously, the committee decided neither proposal was strong enough, but they should be put together. And then this entity was created called the Wolfsonian Public Humanities Lab out of that process. And nobody wanted to run it, so I was going to run it, and I did. And so it was really the result of my work with Provost Furton that created this Wolfsonian Public Humanities Lab. And we were given some resources to create it at the time. And long story short, over the first couple of years, the work that we did became less and less integrally tied to the museum itself. So public humanities as a field, which was then, 6 years ago, really just becoming the thing in humanities across the nation, is very focused on relationships between university and community, bringing community into the university, bringing the university into the community around arts and humanities. So that began to seem to me very kind of purpose driven and interesting. I was meeting a lot of people. We were successful in grants those first years. And so I really found myself in community more and more and enjoyed it and kind of committed to it to be the next phase of my career. And we've just been building the lab since then.